Imagine an infrastructure race not of railroads or highways, but of massive server farms, gigafactories of computing power. The companies that build and own this infrastructure will be the backbone of the AI era. Today, we are witnessing just such a race, fueled by a projected $80 billion, the AI infrastructure land grab. The demand for artificial intelligence compute power is exploding. Behind the flashy models like OpenAI's ChatGPT are vast arrays of servers and GPUs. And this demand is accelerating. Every 90 days, the amount of AI data doubles, and so does the heat these servers generate. This is physical infrastructure, not digital hype. And India is increasingly becoming a focal battlefield. Globally, as AI workloads scale, the infrastructure must grow in lockstep. The International Energy Agency projects electricity demand from data centers worldwide will more than double by 2030, reaching 945 terawatt-hours. That's slightly more than the entire country of Japan consumes today. Goldman Sachs forecasts a 165% increase in power demand, with AI workloads becoming a massive 27% of that total. The large players are making eye-watering bets. Meta reportedly raised $29 billion for its Hyperion data center, aiming for 5 gigawatts of power. To put that in perspective, that's almost as much power as the entire city of Bangalore consumes on a hot day. But OpenAI's Stargate project is on another level, with a reported $1.40 trillion infrastructure ambition. Now let's pivot to India. The opportunity here is defined by one massive gap. India currently holds only 3% of global data center capacity but accounts for 20% of global data generation. If data were oil, India's refineries are only processing 3% of what we produce. This gap is the number one driver of the investment boom. India's data center power today? Barely 1.4 gigawatts. By 2030? Projections are as high as 9 gigawatts. That's a 6x jump in less than a decade. This isn't just growth, it's a build-out on steroids. To get there, the country will need an extra 40 to 50 terawatt-hours of power and up to 50 million square feet of real estate. The global players are making massive bets on India. Google has announced $15 billion over 5 years for an AI hub. AWS is spending $6.8 billion, Microsoft $3 billion, and OpenAI is reportedly scouting for a 1 gigawatt setup in India, costing upwards of $6.5 billion. Parallel to this, Indian corporates are making their own huge bets. TCS is investing $6.5 billion to build 1 gigawatt of new capacity, leveraging its own group companies for power and connectivity. The Blackstone-backed Lumina cloud infra plans 600 megawatts. This is a major strategic shift for traditionally asset-light IT companies. This table shows just a fraction of the announced deals. We see global hyperscalers like Google and AWS competing directly with Indian giants like TCS and private equity like Blackstone. This is a strategic land grab with tens of billions of dollars on the table. This boom is being fueled by two major forces. First, states are competing fiercely, offering electricity waivers and 50% land subsidies. Maharashtra currently leads with 61 registered data centers. Second, and most importantly, regulatory mandates from the RBI and SEBI require data to be stored domestically. This policy of data localization is the physical foundation for India's entire AI future. It enables cloud and AI workloads to run locally, which is critical for low latency, sovereignty, and compliance. This isn't just a buzzword, this is the data is the new oil thesis being built in steel and concrete. In the Indian context, this shift is significant. Companies like TCS are moving from traditional, asset-light services towards owning and operating data centers. That changes their margin profiles and capital intensity. It signifies that infrastructure is now central, not auxiliary. India has a serious cost advantage. In a recent report, India offers data center rates around $80 per kilowatt month, compared to $200 in places like Indonesia. Given our lower input costs for land and labor, plus rising efficiency, India is positioned to become a cost-advantaged global hub. But here is the real story, the twist. This land grab isn't really about land. It's about power. Data centers are the most power-intensive buildings on Earth, with a single hyperscale facility drawing as much power as 50 shopping malls. And they are thirsty, with a mid-sized data center consuming about 1.14 megaliters of water daily. This is a massive problem for India. Our grid is already constrained. Asking it to support dozens of these gigafactories is like running a Formula One car on a two-lane road. Data centers require 99.995% uninterruptible power, which may force operators to build expensive captive power plants, raising costs. This is why there's a growing market for green data centers in India, set to grow from $1.6 billion to over $7.6 billion by 2032. Operators are aggressively signing renewable power purchase agreements and adopting efficient liquid cooling. Sustainability is now a key differentiator. While the story is compelling, the risks are huge. There's the risk of an overbuild that companies build capacity based on hype, and actual utilization lags. Financiers are already warning of an AI infrastructure bubble, similar to the telecom tower boom and bust in the 2000s. And what about technology risk? Will new architectures like edge computing or more efficient GPUs reduce the need for massive, centralized data centers? And what if governments face a backlash over power and water use, and add new carbon taxes? The demand profile could change. While India races ahead, remember this isn't just business, it's geopolitics. The US, China, and the Gulf nations are not sitting idle. Whoever controls AI infrastructure, controls the next layer of digital sovereignty. This is a global race for AI supremacy. But this isn't just about servers. Every AI model hosted here powers your next job application, your healthcare app, your payments system. The data center boom will indirectly shape millions of Indian livelihoods, creating an estimated 180,000 high-value jobs from Google's project alone. If you're a founder, you must recognize that infrastructure is now a foundational layer. Your choice is to build asset-heavy or lease asset-light. The biggest opportunities may be in the value chain, building AI ops for data center management, or designing new cooling technologies. For investors, this is a large-scale infrastructure play with long horizons. The winners will be operators with strong power and connectivity footprints. ESG and sustainability will increasingly matter. Data centers powered by renewables will trade at a premium. For India, data centers are critical infrastructure. But policy must ensure this growth is balanced. We must scale our grid, manage water resources, and align this boom with our renewable energy goals, all while training a new workforce to manage these facilities. So what does this all mean? For India, this isn't just an infrastructure race, it's a chance to become the compute capital of the world. The question is, can we build fast enough, and green enough, before someone else does? The final takeaway is this: the last century's empires were built on oil and steel. The next ones will be built on silicon and electricity. In short, the ones who own these gigafactories of compute will, literally, become the backbone of the AI era, shaping how intelligence itself runs.